Hello, I'm RetroJules. If you saw my update 4.4 video, you may have realised that I had a very small concern about the new capping icons and whether they might get confusing or be a bit too small. Well, I've kind of fallen victim to this and I got myself thoroughly confused. I always encourage change. I love the tweaks that wargaming do, and generally they're always for the better. But this one, I'm not so sure, and I wanted to see how you felt about it. The old capping system, if you like, was very clear. The air raid siren would go off, this big long line would appear, and if your team were capturing the base, this green line, which is your team, would creep along quite happily, and you would watch it until the end. And if your base was being captured by the enemy, then the line would appear and it would be a red line, and you could watch that red line creep along and hopefully not get to the end. If both teams were capping and it was a cap off, you would have a green line and a red line gently working their way across the screen, and you knew exactly how far the enemy had and how far you had to capture the base. Now, this new system, I do like the fact that there's a lot more screen and you can see more game through it, and it doesn't use as much of the head-up display as before. You've got your green circle and you've got your red circle. If the green circle starts having a red circle grow on it, you know the enemy team are capturing your base. And if the red circle has some green colour working its way around, you know that your team are capturing the enemy base. But if you've got a bit of a cap off and both teams are capping, and you've got a red and a green circle and they're both halfway, it really did my head in. And you know, you're watching the video now and I've zoomed in, and all you need to focus on is the icons, and you might say, well, Retro, the green flag is obviously yours and the red flag is obviously theirs. But I think in the heat of a battle, when you're racing around perhaps in a light tank, dodging artillery shells that are coming down at you, dodging fire from tank destroyers, hiding in bushes, trying to dash across the battlefield, avoid the enemy and get back to the cap to neutralise it and take the enemy out, then you might not be able to give those icons perhaps quite the attention that you're giving them now. i.e., you just want to be able to glance at them to see what's going on. And I find it completely confusing, to the point that I don't know which one I'm looking at, which one is. It's just too much red and green going on. And I'm just wondering if you guys find this confusing and if you're having a bit of an issue with it too. Hopefully you are, and it's not just me. As for the solution, I do like these new capping icons, but maybe they need to be further apart. So rather than in the middle of the screen, perhaps they need to be on the outer edges of the screen, i.e. closer to your team lineup, so that perhaps you tend to focus more on your own top line as to what tanks you've got available, maybe? I don't know. Just wondered what your thoughts are on what your experiences are of the new capping icons. Really look forward to your messages. Keep safe, keep tanking, and don't start filthy capping. Just take the enemy out.